So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're going back in time into the year 1991. And that is the name of the release of the band Drop 19s. And this is not necessarily a new album. So Drop 19s are a shoegaze band from the US. And in the 90s, they hit it big. They had an album in 1992 called Delaware. And then they took a hiatus. They released a new album 2 years ago. And now they're re-releasing these, like demo tapes that weren't released at the time. So they're mixed again. And it's called 1991. And I think the title of this record really it's a perfect title because like when you listen to this music, it's like a time capsule that takes you back to the year 1991. So this album is 9 tracks. It's 39 minutes in length. And something, if you like shoegaze, especially if you like shoegaze from the 90s, think of like My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, Cocteau Twins that I know they came before earlier. You have the sound of that band because modern shoegaze, even though I like a lot of modern shoegaze, they rely more on distortion than those dream pop elements that obviously are very associated with that shoegaze sound. So this record uh, has more of those like dream pop elements with that, like those sounds of those bands from that time, which they were a part of. And I'm surprised to know that I actually didn't know this band until a few weeks ago when I got suggested to listen to them and I saw like, hey, they put out those albums in the 90s and I had not heard from them. But when I got back into like rock and music, it wasn't in 1990. It was like more like 92 to 93. And back at that time, I think grunge was more played. So maybe this is why this band fell through the cracks for me. There was no streaming, no YouTube, no way of finding new bands unless you saw it on MTV or word of mouth. So I didn't know this band. So uh, now that I know them, I'm like, man, I wish I would have listened to them back in the 90s. They toured with I saw that they toured like with bands like Hole, Smashing Pumpkins, like different type of bands that I love, and I didn't know about it. Uh, so this album, again, it's familiar sounds. It's not reinventing the wheel by any stretch of the means, but I think if you're a shoegaze fan, especially of that like classic shoegaze sound with dream pop, you will enjoy this record. I'm going to talk about what I thought were my standout tracks. So, first of all, the album opener, Day Mom, it's a 6-minute track and it's very lush in sound. It builds. Uh, the vocals have that, that shoegaze quality where they sound like they're very wavy in the background, but very dream indie, like dream pop to them. So that's a great start. Then you have a song that I think has a little bit more of distortion on it with Back in Our Old Bed. And it feels like a warm blanket that, that just tugging you in, but a shoegaze blanket. You have also tracks where there's more of a female vocal uh, on the tracks, like a song like Soapland and Kissing the Sea. And again, very beautiful, very serene and lush in sound, which I liked. One of the singles that they released was Mayfield, and this one has some great bass playing to it. Like it really goes more like in that Cocteau Twins type of vibe, which I really enjoyed. And also, that sentiment goes on the other track that follows it, Shannon Waves. And again, more of a distorted guitar here and there, but not so distorted. Uh, the last two tracks on the album are really long with Snowbird and Another Summer, with almost both clocking in at 6 minutes. And Another Summer uh, feels more like a alternative, like rock song, uh, and with some shoegaze elements to it. But it's a great way to end this record. So, is this like the best shoegaze that I've ever heard? I think it's a very great demo, and I think it does have that like demo quality to it, even though they remastered this. But I listened to the 1992 album Delaware, and I can see why it's so great. Like that song Winona, great song. So yeah, if you don't know this band like me, I think it's a great way to listen to some shoegaze that has that classic shoegaze sound. So I'm sure if my friend Tom the Green Man hasn't listened to it, Tom, I think you will dig this. Not reinventing the wheel, but it has that classic shoegaze sound that you and me both love. So I want to know from you, Coucher, what do you think of Drop 19's 1991? Did it take you back in time uh, to those years where, those shoegaze was sort of like in its infancy and pretty cool sound? So comment down below what are your favorite tracks. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like. And do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.